Hello comrades, this is Soviet, and I welcome you to ArmA 3. So in ArmA 3 today, I tried to record S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl for the channel today, and unfortunately that did not work out. So luckily ArmA 3 can house mods that will work for ArmA 3. And that we can get a futuristic setting pose that I'll eventually put into a map and we can all play it together. So you can see I have already some men. Some stuff got deleted, but other stuff stayed the same. I'm trying to make them look realistic as possible towards the ARMA settings, but some of the stuff I can't change, which is unfortunate. So ARMA allows a lot of things that we can go ahead and do. So let me try to make a whole new guy so I can show you how to do it. So we'll make random. We're not going to save this to the our regular guy over here, the one that I made earlier, but we're going to start off with a new one. So to start off, you got to think of Chernobyl itself. We're in Chernobyl. We're fighting zombies and etc. in Chernobyl, so we can have different our arms and ammunition. That word came out pretty funky. So I'm going to give him an AK-74 and maybe, or I could try something else. This mod is for people around that want to play it, and this mod is for, or this version of S.T.A.L.K.E.R will be for those people who don't have S.T.A.L.K.E.R Shadow of Chernobyl, and they can just play it on their PC. DayZ does this a little bit, but it's just fun to have creativity. So at the moment, I'm gonna give empty. We're gonna build this guy from scratch, and I may do some off camera, but one or two will be probably on camera, and I just want to show you how you can do this. But before I do it, I'm just gonna go save him real fast. I'm gonna save him as S.T.A.L.K.E.R example. So I'm gonna go exit this this version, virtual reality. So you're on the home page, or we're about to be on the home page, and then you go to the screen. I have the UNC back here, but we go to virtual arsenal. So that way we can customize our own troops and have them all look different. So here's just a normal guy. We can have our two guys in the back that will kind of walk. You'll see people walking around. They're just giving you an idea of what your character would look like. So for right now, and I have a bunch of mods on here, so we're not going to use everything. I'm going to try to strip him down to the bare bones so we can get an idea about how much equipment he's carrying, and then we'll go test him out. So I've forgotten what year exactly. The ArmA, I'll leave the map, and the GPS, radio, navigation, and then watch. Face doesn't really matter. Voice, I'm gonna give him probably English.
Ready.
Oh, that was the wrong thing. Here's Russian.
Жду приказа. Готов. Жду. Готов действовать.
There's a
Жду
bunch of
распоряжений.
Russian mods out there.
Ready. Standing by. Standing by.
Připraven.
Ready for orders.
等待指示。
正在待命.
So I think I'm gonna give this character a Russian voice for right now, but my friends are Americans, so they won't be able to understand it. But the ArmA game has a slight accent. So anyway, like I was going on with the first thing, we had got to give him a weapon of some sort. And this has a grenade launcher. I may have to change that to a camo look or just the regular AK-74M. 74M. We may give him a scope. We'll have to check that out. We don't know what kind of, or we can just give him iron sights. He doesn't have a lot of clothing right now, so he's not really able to hold anything. We could give him a silencer, or I could just put those on the map, but we'll have to see at the time, and we can't give him a bipod. So let's go ahead and test this out. We don't have any ammunition, but we can just see, click, all these men are wearing our equipment. You can see that right there. And so we're gonna go ahead and go Arsenal again. We're gonna return. So now this certain character, the certain member, won't have any a launcher of any kind, but we'll give him a handgun just in case, to make it a little bit fair between the enemies he's going against. So we'll double tap that. We may give him, what is that, a flare? No, I don't want that. What would be a good weapon? A smart weapon, I guess you could call it. If we have a Glock, I'll give him that. Or G16. We'll give him a little scope since his weapon doesn't have a scope. We'll give him a flashlight just in case if he loses his equipment. And we'll give him a silencer just in case, because his gun's not going to be a silencer. So in the body type, we have a bunch of arms and ammunition, or a bunch of different clothing options. I'll go ahead and give him his rifle again. And so we're going to have to take our time to select what kind of stalker that we want in our game. I have a bunch of German, American, and Russian, Soviet Union uniforms, but I really don't want to give them a World War II thing. I think that's too outdated. These are all Germans. It'd be fun to give them armor like this, but it's really hard because of all the other futuristic mods I have. So here's all the Soviet, that's winter. But we kind of want to have some kind of grassland area. That'd be good equipment, but that's still a little bit not what I'm looking for. Here's a couple more UK battle dresses. Here's the UNC. There's a mod for that. And in case if you want any of these mods, just leave me a comment below, then I'll see what I can do about mods. I may put them in the description if people are asking for them, or I may just send them one by one if they're not that popular. So in ArmA, you kind of dress with whatever material you can gather. Some people dress like this. The hood looks fantastic. I think I'm going to give him the khakis, brown no hood, and give him some ammunition. So let's go ahead and try that out. I'll reload our gun. I don't have any earplugs, so I'll have to give him that. No ammunition for a pistol. That's fine, but we'll check our AK, see how that's doing. Run third person. Check that, and then we can fire at these guys to see how they're doing and how the enemy will take the bullets. So my fire is off a little bit, but just in case if we're, in a need to hurry. We got a couple more of them. Of course, these guys respawn, so that's really good. And then our ears are ringing. So I like this kind of weapon. I think it packs enough force that I want the players to have. So with our uniform correct, and this could change any time, I think this is a good enough stalker uniform. You may disagree with me, you may not, but post your comments below of what you think of the uniform. We're going to have a lot of these guys too, so it's not going to be a select few that you see on camera. It's going to be a lot. And now we have to give him the right body equipment. We don't really have to give him correct equipment. We could just throw nothing on there. But if you get shot in the chest without a vest of any kind, you will get hurt pretty bad, and I don't want to have to deal with people not having fun in ArmA, because ArmA is all about fun. So that kind of suits the style, and we got to check, because we'll be in Ukraine, Russia, we got to check what kind of background we can blend into. I was going in for a woodland setting, but I can pretty much take anything. I think I like that at the moment. I like the darker colors. It's just personal preference. we'll have to check our options down below. And in case if you want to make your own stalker person, just send me a link, post it on Workshop, and I'll download it. I have some stuff from Warhammer 40,000, and your character will be in the mod. Here's some Russian gear. But I think I like that chest plate above, or that vest above. I don't want really anything that's not going to protect the player and that doesn't clip in between the player. So we're going to scroll back up. I think it was this one, or excuse me, I don't think it was that one. Let's scroll down a little bit further. I think it could have been him. Maybe. It's really risky. I think I forgot. Not like that. Maybe like this. I don't want the shotgun on the side if we're not going to have a character equipped with the shotgun. So I think that's pretty good. We'll give him G17 magazines. Maybe I think 4, 5, 6 is good enough, and we'll give him some AK ammunition as well. And then one thing I want to do before I forget, if I can find it, I want to try to give him some earplugs, because we play a certain mod in this game where if you fire your gun a lot, you will pretty much go blind, or your ears will ring. You won't go blind. So we're gonna scroll down a little bit more, and we're gonna test what backpack will really go good with our stuff. I'm trying to get the enemies to have guns and ammunition that the players can use. Here's a bedroll, but we really don't need that. We don't need that addition. So when the enemies are killed, they'll be able to drop ammunition, and the player has to have a place to store that. So we got to keep that in mind. I think there's not a really good backpack I want. I kind of like backpacks like this. I don't want a big bulky backpack. I want to make sure that the player can move freely however they want. I think a field pack might work, but we got to get it in the right color. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it just has to fit with what it looks like, or how we want the environment to look. I don't want anything like that. These missions might be small. I don't know what's on the ground right there. Medical bag, I don't need any of that. Stuff like that I don't need. So that may work. I think this would work fantastic. With what we're going, it looks like it has a little tin can or some sort. I could be completely wrong in it. So I'm gonna give the player some earplugs. And then maybe a couple grenades. I know I clicked the wrong grenade, and we gotta test all these items out to see if they work correctly. And we'll give him some yellow, red, purple, orange, and green. And blue just for the heck of it, smoke. So we don't want to weigh the player down too badly. And so for the next phase, we'll go into the helmet. I don't know if I exactly want a helmet for this kind of mod. It may be necessary, or some kind of other thing. I don't know how I wanted to phrase that in my head. That may work, but that doesn't really fit the stalker setting. And I kind of don't want a helmet like this. I think that defeats the purpose. So for right now, we're going to skip helmets. We're going to go on the face wear. And so I don't want anything white like that. That will expose you to cover. Wow, that was pretty bad. We could do a beanie like this, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for, or a balaclava. I don't want really anything with glasses. That may work, but rarely. We could do, here's a head wrap. So let's see if that works for right now. So we have a head wrap. I think I have gas mask down here. Gas mask. Here's some gas masks, but that clips in the armor. But I guess if we have a helmet on, and I'm just going to pick a random helmet, you can't really see the back end of that, so that is good. But it just kind of, you know, blends in there, right there. Here's a gas mask that may work. You can have gloves instead of a gas mask, which is pretty cool, but I'd like to give them the settings where they feel like they're in the stalker world. This would be, oops, that would be pretty cool, but that's not what I'm looking for. Looks like a ghost hat on, or a face cover on. The only thing is, I don't know if I want 2 respirators or 1. I could probably do 1 for right now and have a couple other people have different mods. We want to give them night vision goggles just to be fair. We'll have most of our missions at night. So we'll go ahead and give them a green one. But the face where we may have to change something else. I think that would work. And they're not always wearing glasses. I'm thinking of Metro. Or gas mask, I'm thinking of Metro. So we may do some of this for right now. And if I can imagine it correctly, without looking on my phone, I can picture what I kind of want. They're not covering their eyes, but they're doing a little bit. Like they don't really have goggles on or glasses on. Here's a stealth one. That's kind of what I want, but I guess I could go back and change the uniform with a hood. Try to get it like this instead. I think that would work perfectly. But his night vision goggles are above his head. We can give him gloves. Gas mask, that may actually work. Let's see if the helmet will help with that. And I'll just click on a different one. That's not what I'm looking for. That's 2 for us, 2, not exactly what I want. Here's some other helmets down here. But it looks like that may work. But with this character model, I don't think I really want a helmet because of the blending and that we can get with the gas mask and the hoodie. I don't want a Marshall cap. I may switch it out just in case, but I'll have to think of some other options. I don't want a racing helmet, of course, that'd be too much. And then, so I don't think we're gonna have a helmet on. Or I guess I could change it. In this version, we're gonna have to change a lot of stuff around. I think I used to have a hat like that, but now I can't find it. I moved away from my parents. So that's their headgear. Our gas mask is that, but we can change it to something else. So this is not going to be the best video, but this is just giving you a background story about it. I kind of like that look, but I wish I could get it in a different color, maybe a brown or a green. Not like that. I don't want his mouth open. Maybe that's just too much of a personal preference. And I don't want glasses either on the head. The tan kind of works, but it has the glasses on, so let's see. That all has plus glasses. I think I may do that. I'll rather have the nose covering than with glasses on, or goggles. That's just the headgear or a headphones option. So I think I'm gonna go with OD. Night vision goggles, we already have them, and we'll have to try it on in a second. Binoculars, we always need binoculars in our game. It helps the player out with distances and finding out where their enemies are and not having to approach a location if we don't, especially if we don't give them a scope. So we'll go ahead and give them the binoculars, but we'll give them Soviet binoculars. I know they have a little glare in them. He already has the map, terminal, communication, navigation, watch, his face. Did he just get glasses? Did I hit the wrong one? I didn't notice that a second ago. We'll click on his gun again to make him draw out his gun, and we'll try to find something. I don't know why that did that. Here's a green. I think that's good enough. If I was in brown, I'd be a lot happier, but it doesn't matter. And so, does this weapon, or can this uniform have any insignia on it? I don't have my own, but we could do whatever we chose to if it fit. We could. It's not showing up right now. If it was on a different uniform, it would, but this one's not really showing up. Yeah, so that's not showing up at all.
Готов действовать.
So we have a Russian accent.
Standing by.
Жду приказа. Жду.
Готов действовать.
Жду приказа.
So I guess my Iron Front Russian mod is not, the voice is not going up there, so we're gonna
Жду.
Готов.
have to change it.
Готов. Жду распоряжений.
Готов действовать.
Готов действовать. Готов. Жду приказа.
So that could affect how my character's voiced anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and save this as S.T.A.L.K.E.R example. And we're gonna test it out on here. We gotta control Windows it, whatever the icon is. So in case if you wanted to know what this mod is, here's us firing. Can you hear that ringing in your ear? That doesn't feel good. So if we go earplugs in, that's even a little bit better, and we're already low on ammunition. Let's see how our pistol is. Has no ammunition. Let's go ahead and load it up in the chamber. It may be too realistic with what we want, but we'll have to definitely give the player more ammunition, or we'll have to have it around the map. And we have our vehicles over here that we can also do, but I don't know if I want to give the players a vehicle like this for right now. It may have to be in another video, part 2 of the series. But we'll definitely, I think because I changed, oh, I still have my old name on there. I think it's because it changed the uniform. I think I gotta give him more ammunition. We'll give him more ammunition on our vest. And our backpack, we'll give him more magazines and supersonic ammunition. So let's go ahead and try this out. I know I already have. Do supersonic. Earplugs are still in, just in case. I have never tried supersonic. But the cool thing about this virtual arsenal is that the AI will dress as us too, so we can see what a squad would look like and how they move, how they act. And we got to test out the Soviet binoculars and see if we get that nice green or dirty screen that I want. And so I think this character is good to go. So what you want to do if your character is good to go, let's go ahead and click on rifle. We're going to save him again. S.T.A.L.K.E.R example will be saved. We're going to export and import. I know that really doesn't make sense to do both, but that's how I understand it. But before I continue, I'm going to change. No, I don't want that. Definitely don't want a scope on there. That's too easy and it highlights everything. So I just wanted to check on that. So like I said, export, import. We're going to go exit the arsenal. Yes, for sure. And we're going to go ahead and test this in a video game. Or in a mission, in an editor mission. I haven't decided what map we're doing. Chernobyl zone would be ideal. So let's go ahead and try that. And like I said, most of these maps and mods and equipment and guns and stuff are what do you call it? From modders. So we're gonna go on here, and here's all this empty stuff. I don't know where anything is. So we're gonna go locations, and we're gonna go to the nuclear power plant. So here it is, right here. It's kind of laggy for right now. This may not be the ideal map that we want, especially for this top of a scenario. So I'm just gonna put a random man down. I'm gonna put a commander. That's me. I don't know why I'm all the way over there. Okay, and then we're gonna double tap him, double click him. We're gonna press Control V. This will give the person all the equipment that we need, or that we put on our character. We're gonna increase his skill. Excuse me, and then we're not gonna do anything with that. We're gonna press OK, excuse me, and we're gonna jump right into the game. So it does take a lot of time, but it's also very fun to build your own ArmA 3 scenario. Don't need that personal radio. So here we are in Chernobyl. Let's see if we can open this gate. And we can't. Anyway, so we may have to have a different mod. We're just gonna test this place out. My earplugs went away, unfortunately. I don't know why they did that. And I fell through the map. So yeah, we might definitely want to try a different mod, but we can get an idea of what the player will be like, or where he will be. And so just to test it out, we're going to drag us over here. Let's say we're here with our friends. And so we're going to click on double click on Control V. Control V, and the cool thing about an editor, if you do the Control V in this, it'll be like that, so we can exit and save, or we can save and exit, I mean, and then they'll be exactly how we want them to be. So before I pop an enemy in our battle zone, we're just gonna have this for right now, play the scenario. And we're going to look at all our buddies who are exactly the same like us. So that doesn't really get you in the flow of things of how the enemy will, or how our allies will be. But it's pretty cool to see others like you, even though they look exactly the same. But of course, on and on this can change, and we can build our own game from that. So I like the helmet, or I like the hat, and how the character looks for right now. So this looks all good and dandy. And so we're gonna, before I decide to say this video is too long, we're gonna do some enemies here. So I have this cool little mod. I unfortunately forgot who it's by, but I can always go look. We have this, we're gonna put a group of zombies down and see how our guys can handle it. It'll be a medium horde. I think we can handle it for right now, but of course when I show things off the way I want to, stuff doesn't really go in my favor. So we're gonna have our zombies here, and they're gonna be marching towards us. And the cool thing about all this stuff that I'm showing you here today, it's all on Steam's Workshop. So, and I know zombies weren't really the ideal character or enemy in ArmA, but of course we'll have humans to fight us, and we'll have more enemies, but we'll just have to see how it goes. The independent forces are normally, they can be either neutral, they can either attack us, or they will be by themselves. So we may play around with that. We have like 2 groups of stalkers coming and a zombie horde approaches, so we may do that if things are, if that's what we want to do. So here's the enemies.
Вижу цель. Солдат.
They're all running.
100 метров. Прием. Вижу цель.
He won't go down. And you can tell our characters are ready death. So zombies are pretty hard. We're gonna run away a little bit. They kill you pretty fast. I may have hurt my own guy right there. But looks like all the zombies are dead. I forgot how many stalkers we started off with. We lost 3 men and we killed 3 zombies. So that's pretty good. I think that was okay. I think that's realistic in a game like Stalker. But that just gives us an idea of what we want our main mission to be. So we can take his stuff. We can be like, ha, I'm taking all your money or all your ammunition, which is pretty cool. So that was ArmA 3, building our own Stalker gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys will have fun with the series, as I hope to have fun with the series. We're going to have different effects for the sky and etc. But this is Soviet signing off. See you all next time.